nigga for me. I'm pulling up, pulling up, I'm pulling up. Heard you a nigga for me. I'm pulling up, I'm pulling up.
I love Chris
I'm
Rich.
pulling up, I'm pulling up, pulling up. Slide through, Benz truck, big Thule, what the fuck? Pull on me, I keep it tough. I'm pulling up.
Welcome to the Down in the Valley podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Black V. That's my other co-host down there, my cousin, Mr. Tim, and that's Rico right there, or G Rico, however y'all like to call him, Mr. Revere, the one and only. And we got some special guests as we here for episode 2. And I'm gonna let everybody else introduce themselves. So we're gonna say the best for last. So Coach, you're gonna have to go last, but I'm gonna let these gentlemen introduce themselves, give a little bit about who they are and why they're here to speak on many topics, Volney Rogers, and then talk about the amazing legends that came and did so much for us. So I'm gonna go ahead and let it start off with my co-host. You can go ahead and just give them a short synopsis again, co-host. Rico.
Yeah, hey man, once again, man. Hey, I call myself Rico on Facebook, but this is George Revere, man. Youngstown, Ohio, proud man. Played in Volney Rogers for the Elks and for the Panthers, man. When we first came out, played running back, played a little bit of receiver, played a little bit of everything. Starting out as a peewee, that was just the name of the game. You wanted to be on the field, you know. So, but like I said, man, just a privilege to be here as a co-host again, helping my boy out.
Okay, thank you, brother. I'm gonna let the man in the middle, who's got a lot going on in ATL right now, and been doing his thing, and is a legend on the Volney Rogers fields down in the valley. So I'm gonna let him introduce himself, Mr. Cowwise.
What's going on, man? This is Mark Cowwise. I'm in the ATL now. Youngstown, born and bred, you already know. Coming on, this is my first rip coming to honor a legend. My boy Coach Nuby, down here following in his footsteps, you know, still doing my thing with the youth. I got 2 sons, one 16, one 12 on a youth level. We going to nationals next week. You know, we got a lot cooking up, man. Just following the footsteps of the great guys that I was honored to be able to be in the presence of as a young man growing up.
Amen, brother. Amen. Okay, cuz go tell it to introduce yourself, brother. Just a quick introduction, who you is, what you rep.
And Jones, you know, Volney Rogers, repping the North Side Knights, you know, black and yellow, the original. Moved down here to Columbus in like '95, you know, brought some of that Youngstown football to Columbus. You know, they ain't never seen how we do it down there. So, you know.
Represent.
My boy's in the football now. One he played 2 years ago and got cracked one good time, and he kind of like he was like, "Nah, I'm good." He started picking grass on the sideline. Gotta get him back out there, man. I got to get him back out there.
Yes, sir. Okay, the man we have up is a legend also himself. Coach Kev is a legend within himself and has done great work in the community and been very influential in a lot of young men's life. And he gives a lot of credit to being an influential person from Coach Nuby. So Coach Kev, I need you to go ahead and introduce yourself and give us a little background, who you are, where you from, what you rep, and what you got going on now also, if you can.
Oh man, thanks. It's a privilege to be here. First of all, thank you, appreciate it. You know, I see all the guys on here, man, and just looking at Georgie and Cowwise. Those guys are 2 of the guys that kind of made me who I am, just becoming a coach. So I got to throw shots out to Cowwise, who was like, I thought he was Reggie Bush before Reggie Bush, and George started me off. Me recruiting and trying to sneak guys to other schools. George was the first guy that I was trying to get up out of here. I might not like that, but that's what I do. I'm always looking out for my guys. So
as you should.
Georgie was up in the morning trying to get up out of there, but that's my guy. But man, I always represented them guys, but tonight I'm here to represent Coach Nuby, man, because Coach Nuby has been like a father, and with your father, you don't always get along with him. You don't always agree with him because you don't really see his vision. You don't really see what he sees because you're not supposed to. You don't have the maturity. You don't have the knowledge. But just to touch on it a little bit, Coach Nuby gave me the moniker Prime Time when I was in high school, man. And, I'm going to touch on some other things later, but Coach Nuby, you just don't know, by giving me that nickname, that affected me, my children, and probably every kid that I ever coached, because it gave me a sort of pride, a source of confidence. And it made me feel like I was important. And I still carry that confidence with me today, man. And you and Coach Brown, when y'all see me and y'all call me Primetime, okay, baby.
It'll probably be like maybe 8 more minutes.
And so from that standpoint, man, Coach Nuby, man, we from the Brook, so we always put a nickname on somebody, and I appreciate the nickname, man, because like I say, it is Caribbean to see prime time, real prime time, doing it down in Jackson State. I can't watch Dion without thinking about you. You know what I mean? So that's just you never know how you affect kids, man. And here I am 50, and I still, when I see Coach Nuby, I still resort back to being like a child,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, we say the best for the last introduction. So, Coach Nuby, if you don't mind, take it away. Definitely. Wait, real quick, Coach Cav, on
Yes, sir.
your phone, it's probably got it on thing while you can't hear us. On your phone, you see where it says more on the screen towards the bottom. There should be like a little thing that says more. You hit that. You hit the more button, right?
Right.
And then when you hit more, it should say settings. And when you see settings, you hit go to audio. And I think your phone is on regular headset thing, and you got to click it over it. It should give you the option to hit that to change the speakerphone.
iPhone microphone.
Yeah, it might say iPhone microphone, but it's like should give you the option to hit speakerphone so you can hear us better. So I don't know how iPhone does it, but
okay, yeah, they just let me adjust the volume, but it didn't have an option for speaker. But I can hear you guys.
Okay, cool. So okay, sorry about that, Coach Nuby, if you may.
Okay, first and foremost, I got 35 years with a lot of teams, and I'm really not going to go through all of them. But the most important thing I want to say is I want to thank 2 different platforms. The first platform I want to thank is my God. My God gave me the strength. He gave me the energy. He gave me the focus, and he put me on a mission, and I gave 100% to complete that mission. The other platform I want to talk about is my family. When you coaching for 35 years, every day you spending 3 days with somebody else's kids. You picking them up, you taking them to practice, you taking them home. You're not with your family. You're not with your kids. And these kids is with me all week. I pick them up in the morning, I take them to the game. After the game, I take them home. So it's like a job. And during those 35 years, I took away from my son, I took away from my daughter, I took away from my wife. I'm spending time with somebody else's kids. So I thank them for their patience. I thank them for their understanding. And I thank them for being with me along the journey. I started off with the boys club. Left the boys club. I went over to the Braves. I left the Braves. I went over to the Broncos. I left the Broncos. I went over to the Elks. I left the Elks. I think I coached for a year with Kevin up at East. Then I coached another year with PJ Mays.
What's up, man?
I did high school basketball with Cheney. I ran a Respect Basketball League. I did the Youngstown City Schools in the Law program. I did a lot of stuff. And basically what it's about empowering lives, saving lives, and giving kids the necessary tools to be successful. Wow. So that was my mindset. That was my mission statement. I gave 100% every day, and I really appreciate being recognized for this. It really makes me happy, and my family is proud. And Marcus Stalmaz, man, you my dude, man. Because when I think the championship, I said, "Hey, the Elks offered me the whole program, Marcus." He said, "When we leaving?" Me
Right.
either.
Hey, you know what's so crazy, Coach? I swear, ask George. I told him the same thing. I told him the real how it went down and how you just took me with you over there, man. We shocked the nation with that one too.
Yes, we did, man.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
we
Wow.
did.
Like I said, man, that story you said, man, yesterday, man, just had me like, dang, man, just to look at the whole
Hey,
situation.
it was true.
We've been in Youngstown our whole lives, man, and you be sitting like, hold on, man, this is how this happened. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it's kind of good stuff, man. It's just like you said, man, to have a coach like you, to hear how he just was adamant. He said, Georgie, man, you talking about Coach Nuby? Hey, man, he had my back. And I'm like, bro, I would have never thought anybody would have gave Marcus Cowwise any gripe or static for the Broncos. Dude been playing since his Pee Wee years, man, was like, that was your competition. You, High Tower cats, that was like, man, those were your dogs, man. And y'all cats, like, y'all brought the best out of anybody that was on our age level group. And then to hear that, you had left the squad. I'm like, for the Elks, I'm like, man, that shocked me. And hey, it shocked me big time. You know what I'm saying? So
I
Yeah.
that's
think
what's
that
up,
was,
man.
I think
But
that was around
that's
the
a
time.
real person right there.
I think that was around the
Oh
time Coach
yeah.
Floyd
He
had
definitely
left.
had my back for
He
sure.
left.
Oh, wow.
I remember
Sorry
when I
about
was
that.
a little boy, my grandmother told me I was going to be a philosopher. I'm like, Grandma, what's a philosopher? She said, go look it up in the dictionary. So I looked it up in the dictionary about 10 years later, and I figured it out. It's not about leaving the team and going to another team. It's about sending a message. It's about different cultures. It's about reaching out to all the kids. That's what it was about to me. Like when I was over with the Broncos, we had our time. The Elks offered me a job. I took it. And that's a chance to go to the West Lake, and reach out to the West Lake, you know what I'm saying,
Smack and
and
green.
send a message
Both of them.
and
And
win the
send a
championship
message.
Yeah.
and save
You
lives
mentioned this Smack and
Undefeated.
green music.
Undefeatedly.
He said
undefeated.
undefeatedly too. Undefeatedly too. Ooh, that I don't know if that sting. I don't know if that sting more than Michigan winning over the
Cuddy,
weekend.
cut.
See,
But
hey, we gotta say that for another time, man. I see Coach over there. He already got my eyes hurting, but I love him to death, so I'm gonna let him ride with that one.
Let him ride for it.
I'll
So,
take
Hey,
that.
I was salty. Oh man,
uh,
y'all got
Now
so
on
what I'm
another
gonna do
level,
while I got what I'm gonna do while I got you guys a couple of these especially this legend below me right here and this legend next to me and the rest of the guys on the pod. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask y'all a couple questions, and with some of these questions I want you to don't think too hard, have fun with it, but also if it's an opportunity to show some love to your peers and uh, your peers and teammates and fellow coaches. So I'm gonna start off with Coach Nuby. If you could think of from all you coached a lot of players, who are some of the biggest leaders you came across that like they just stood out to you like, wow, the leadership on this kid. He didn't have to be the best player or whatever the case, but his leadership stood out to you.
in football,
Yes,
Coach
sir.
Kevin, Coach Kevin. I seen it in Kevin. Kevin was going to be somebody. Kevin was going to be a leader. I was in Kevin ass. Kevin hated my guts, but it paid off. Basketball, Kevin Roof Williams. He was
Yeah,
he
I,
was a great leader. Great leader.
nice, 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 nice. For you, Marcus, who besides yourself probably being a leader, who was some of the other guys that you played with that you're like, yo, that pretty much a very good leader, or you just whether it's his talk or on the field by example,
what that played on my team or that I played against.
played on your team.
Well, we had a lot of leaders, so I ain't gonna front. But Rayshawn Graham, that was my road dog. Me and him, we he was part of the reason that hurt when I left the Broncos my last year because me and him was from the Pee Wees all the way up to the big team, and that summer, like I told George, I ain't gonna get too into details, but we had decided we wanted to change positions, and he was gonna be the quarterback, and I was gonna be I was gonna be the quarterback, and he was gonna be the running back, and I don't think all the coaches really felt that, so when when the coach said what he said to me, and Nuby made the move, and he took me over there with him, I couldn't. He couldn't come. He had the opportunity to come, but he didn't. And that hurted me. But going into the season, it lit fire up under me because I'm like, now I got to play against him. This my dog. This my favorite. So we didn't play since Pee Wees together.
Right.
So, Rayshawn Graham, that's who I tip my hat to when it comes to playing football with through the Broncos years. But then if we go over to the Elks, I got to give it to Vandy. That was my dude. Him and Ty Lindsey, them was my two. That was my two guys right there.
Right.
Tyrone Lindsey
Super talented.
and
Yeah.
Vandy, rest in peace.
Yeah. Rest in peace. Definitely rest in peace, Vandy. Yeah, Ty Lindsey was a monster. Was a monster within himself, man. That guy
I
was.
think my
He was a
stuff
freak of
lagging,
nature.
y'all. My
Is
connection
yours
messing up.
lagging? Anybody else's Twitter is lagging. Everybody else sound cool.
I'm straight on mine so far.
Straight on mine. Okay. If
There
you
we
might have to
go.
go out and come in if it's keep going, but so Coach Kev, I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you. This is a two-part question. From you as a player, who is a player that you played with that stood out a lot to you was like one of the big leaders you'll never forget?
On the football field, I mean, I don't know. I always looked up to my brother. I mean, like I'm from the hood, so like a lot of people that never got to play football, man, was just great from our neighborhood, man. You got guys that was good in basketball, Percy Phillips and Calvin Moore. You know what I mean? Those guys were like great in football and basketball. But I mean, as far as like just playing with somebody that was just I looked up to that was just so smooth, I would have to go with Beefcake in basketball. Sean Cole, he played point guard for us at East. He was somebody that him and Big Eric Hill. Those are guys that I kind of looked up to. And then probably in football, it would have been somebody like Aldridge Jones or
Okay.
or Big Buster Stanley. Those
Wow.
guys were guys that I kind of wanted to be like on the football
Wow.
field.
That's
Hey,
dope.
hold
That's
up. You
dope.
said Alrich Jones.
Yeah,
Hey,
his name Tank. They call him Tank, but he was special, man. He's only about 5'5", man, but
hey,
he
hold
could
on,
really
man.
shoot.
Hey, I gotta put this connection together, man, because that name sound real familiar. Like he was one of our Raider coaches, man. Coach Al, man, little
You
short
know what?
guy, man.
I think there was a Aldrich Jones that was a coach that was from the South. They might be even family, but this
Yeah.
Aldrich would have probably been a little too young to coach you. You know what I'm saying? Because he got out of he was real smart, and when he graduated, he went to Westminster and played football up there, and then went to Miami, and he now
Okay.
actually owns a over 40 club on South Avenue.
Oh
Got
wow.
you.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
But it is a similar name. I even believe that guy like lost a son out here because it was his name was like Aldrich Jones, something like that.
Yeah, man. It's just funny, man, when you say certain names, man. Coach Al was another coach that was on the Elks, man, that stood with that staff for years when I was a Pee Wee. So, yeah, that's another coach that's kind of funny.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
those guys would be the guys that kind of motivated me in football. Oh, and I can't forget Vic Huntley. Vic Huntley was short. I mean, I liked the underdog guys, man, the short guys, because I was a little guy. So like I kind of identified with guys who were undersized and were tough. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
just like in the
Um.
pros, I love Barry Sanders and Hines Ward. I mean, and Allen Iverson, just the little guys that were just tough. Because coming from where I was from, like you had no choice but to be tough. Even if you was soft, you had to act like you was tough. Like
Yes,
toughness
sir.
That's
was
right.
just essential.
I
So
got a
from your
question,
coaching,
if y'all don't mind me asking from a coaching standpoint. We can start with Coach Noob again. What team did y'all look forward to coaching against? Like, who was your competition that you thought that you was like, man, every time it comes, I'm looking forward to beating this team, or I gotta go at it because we gotta bring our best out. I need all my boys on their P's and Q's because this is who I wanted to beat because they had a tight coaching staff. Besides yours,
Okay, that's like the same thing with Michigan, Ohio State on the same type of platform. That's right.
That's right.
Okay, my biggest nemesis when I first started off was the Braves.
Mm.
Braves when I was at the boys club. Because every time we had Braves week, nobody came to practice. Nobody showed up for the game. We'll get beat 50-0. So my next philosophy is how I'm gonna get all these kids together and have them for practice and have them for the game. So I start having overnighters, taking them to YSU games, let them spend a night, give them pizza, break the film down, then take them to the game. So we start getting more competitive. Another nemesis was the Titans. I had a hard time with them because they had an intimidation factor. They didn't intimidate me, but they intimidated coaches, they intimidated our kids, and we would battle them down to the last wire, but we would lose.
Mm. Y'all let the Titans come and take the Thunder away from the east side? From what?
That when I was with the Braves, we never beat the Titans. We beat them one time for the championship. After that, I was like 0-8. Got to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Kev's son got about 5 of them championships. So it's all good.
And that's the same thing, Coach Kev. I had a pleasure playing on a big squad. I know you was at the 115 level when I came over when we first started up the Panthers, and before we started going to the Titans. Who was the squad that y'all personally looked at beating or playing that for that season? Like when you came on the field, you had one mission: we got to beat this squad, and I need my boys on the A game.
Well, obviously off the top, it was. I mean, honestly, when we first got into the game, we was using other people's uniforms, so it was the Warren Browns because we was using the Warren Eagles uniforms with patches.
Yep.
So it was the Warren Browns at first because they was more established and they was good football players.
Mm-hmm.
Then it became after that, it was let's see, the Broncos because they were on the east side, you know, and we were fighting for players and we were a new team. And so, you know, you got to go through that. So we like the 18 apiece. The Broncos, we like to, you know, play against them and go hard. And then it was just eras. You had the Braves when Coach Nuby, he don't give himself a lot of credit. He was 0-8, but them was wars. Like they had the clean scale boy and they had Mike, I think it was a Mike from the Brooks. Mike was a crazy tailback for you guys that he couldn't be stopped. So the Braves, and then obviously the Northside Knights. I mean, with Lil Lynn, you know, I used to want to put a pillow over his head at night so that he couldn't wake up in the morning because, I mean, we had LJ, Lil Ben, and them guys were older than Lynn, but he still found a way to upset us almost all the time. So yeah, it went in errors. It was always some built-up rivalries. The Broncos, the Braves, and the Knights. They were all real good and competitive.
Knights, yeah.
Back in the day. Yeah, we got a former Knight up in here, Kev, up in the restaurant. So you know they hearing it. You know, he want to shout out
original Coach Carter, man.
Original Coach Carter.
Original Coach Carter.
He throwing out a legend's name, the original Coach Carter up here. So shout out to Coach Carter from the Northside Knights.
The Northside Knights. Kevin, Coach Carter that passed away, the one that passed away.
Yeah, great coach.
Yeah, he coached me in Little League and high school. Yeah, Coach Carter was a real one, man. Jim, he was like, hey, we used to call him James Brown.
Hey, Kev, tell Kevin. Coach Kev, tell Kevin Jefferson I said what's up, man.
Hold on, man. Hold on.
In the trash.
You got somebody from Atlanta that want to say, I think it's Cowboy. It might be Cowboy.
Yeah, what's happening?
Up, man?
That nigga in the middle need to take that hat off and throw it in the trash. First of all,
man,
Kev on some bullshit.
The dude with the shit on his head, man. Y'all see it.
You talking shit to somebody wearing Atlanta.
I don't even know who that nigga is. He know what he got on. No, it ain't. Him right here, man. This nigga right here.
Oh, that's Coach Nuby.
Nuby, you gotta take that off, bro.
You ain't took it off since we won.
Hey, Coach Nuby.
What's up?
The arrogance.
Hey,
the audacity. Hey, Coach Nuby. The picture of audacity. Audacity.
Let me tell you about coaching, bro. Like you.
You're supposed to feel that way after we came to your house.
Right.
Destroyed
Brian Day. is your coach.
I
That
want to
wow,
give
right now.
Jack.
Put you in that.
I want to give Coach
Let me get
T.R.
there.
Robinson
Take care,
from
Kevin.
the
Thank
Knights
you.
some props.
2 years in a row, Kev.
You say Kevin who?
2 years in a
Hey,
row,
hold up.
Kev.
Hey, Coach Kev. Hey, hold up. He was
Hey,
saying
you gotta love
who
young
you was sitting there talking about Coach Nuby?
I want to give T.R. Robinson from the Knights some props, and Kevin Poindexter. They were some
Yes,
great
sir.
role models. They were some great coaches.
Yes, sir. Coach
You
Kev
got, hey,
coached
coach,
me.
you got to throw Coach Floyd out there too from the
Coach
Broncos, man.
Carter,
Coach Carter.
Coach
Yeah.
Floyd,
Yep.
Coach
Coach
Chatdog,
Dowdy for sure.
Coach
Coach,
Blackshear, Coach
we
Dowdy.
got more podcasts to come and more legends to honor. Like we just getting started with this. It's
Yeah,
just the
we
beginning.
got the thing was like tonight we was focusing on you, Coach Nuby. That's why I said it was good to bring a lot of people that played for you, from the Broncos, for the Braves, for the Elks. Anybody that's share any special moments with you as far as even coaching, it was good to bring them on here. A lot of the guys y'all mentioning, we already had people like last week brought some names up. Even with y'all just saying Coach Kevin Poindexter, he was on a podcast last week, our first podcast, man, and the momentum is building. Like I said, we got a lot of y'all. We really want to give our respects, our flowers to Coach Kevin. You one of them. Like I said, we're trying to be fair, bring it from team to team. Let some of y'all give y'all respects to even some of y'all coaches that y'all coached with that was on the staff with y'all. So, like you said, man, this ain't gonna stop, man. This is just something that, like you said, if any of y'all ever want to jump in and give y'all respects to anybody, like I said, for me, I can personally speak and say, coming on to that year of playing football every year, from me being a peewee and all the way to my 120 year, my last year playing on the 120s before I went to high school and started playing ball. I look forward to beating certain players. I always wanted to play the best. I didn't care who it was, and the guy on this camera right now, when he went to the Elks, man, it broke my heart because I felt like they had the all-star team, and the Coach Dowdy told me off the top, Georgie, come on. And me being from the Brooks, but being born in Westlake, being born on the north side too, and being back and forth between Westlake and the Brooks. But when the Brooks had their first chance to have a team, man, all my boys, Scooter, Duper, all these cats, man, that was from the east side that I grew up with, I had to play with them. And I ain't gonna lie, that dude Cal Wise, man, like I said, I always want to lay a hit on him. I felt like if you accomplished anything on the field, if you shut him down, if you was able to shut him down or give him for him to give you your respect and be like, yeah, or getting that trash talking with him, if you was able to get in the ring with him and talk trash, you had to hold your own. And, that was like my thing. It was always a focus on beating certain people, certain cats. And I didn't even want nobody to have my own number. If you have my number, hey, I had to get you off the field quick. You know what I'm saying? So it's cats like that, man, that you just, like you said, Volney Rogers was so full of athletes, man. The Broncos had so much raw talent. It was just ridiculous. I love playing against them cats, man.
Cal
It
Wise is
was
like
always,
one of the top 5 Broncos. When I was talking to a couple Broncos during the week, the Cal
yeah.
Wise name popped up. Chester, aka Showtime, his name popped up. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, probably the greatest defensive player ever to play for the Broncos, and probably from the city of Youngstown, one of the
Joe
top 5
Love.
greatest, is Joe Love. Joe Love. So yeah, those are some legendary guys, man. But yeah, respect for Cal Wise and for a lot of these other guys is amazing. That's why we're not going to just honor like legendary coaches, but like players that a lot of other kids, when we were kids, we respected or we looked forward. They made us raise our game. Next week, we're scheduled to do Anthony Floyd on here and give him his flowers. So that's another player. And then we're working on doing Coach Floyd next. And then we just gonna keep it going back and forth, coach, player. However, we just want to honor guys like Coach Kevin, Coach Nuby, who just like sacrificed so much. Like Coach Noob said, man, he had to give it up to his family. Like they sacrificed a lot. And I said that to Coach Kevin Poindexter last week. Like, thank your wife and your kids for having to share you with share you, because like all of us depended and looked forward to or were scared to disappoint. So thank you guys again. But again, thank you, Marcus, for being a great player. And thank you even more for being a hell of a guy who's out there giving back to your community because of great, like these two great men showed us how to do.
Oh, no doubt.
I'd like to touch base on something regarding the Elks and Marcus. When I went over to the Elks, we didn't have no equipment. We didn't get our equipment till the day before the first game. We didn't have no scrimmages. We couldn't hit. We got our equipment the day before the first game.
Wow.
We were undefeated and we won a championship.
Hey, that
That's
equipment rolled up on the 18-wheeler truck. Everything
Yeah.
had tags on it, though. It wasn't used.
It was
We had
brand
all
new.
new. Everything new. I remember that like it was
We couldn't
yesterday.
scrimmage. We couldn't hit. We couldn't do nothing. But we pulled it off.
Oh,
Hold
yeah.
on, what year was that y'all won the championship?
Oh, they won that like 96 or 97 because we went to high school 97, 98. So it was like my last year playing. They was that team, man. They was that team.
And Raymond Merle came
Hey,
out
but
with that West Coast.
but what's the year? Hey,
was
what's the year that Marky D broke Walt wrist? What's that year?
Ooh,
That's
that
the
might have been
same year.
the same year.
That was the middle team.
Yeah,
I thought
that
we
might have
okay.
That was the
Yeah.
middle team.
Yep, that might have been the same year.
Hey, man, hold
Yeah,
on.
we had
Marky D.
we had some wars, but Marcus was special, man. He was like one of the first kids that I saw, and I said to myself, "It ain't no way in the world he ain't going to the NFL." I could watch Marcus on Saturday, and then go on Sunday and see somebody similar. I mean, it was just
Mhm.
like that. He would make so many jaw-dropping plays, man, and and he wasn't bigger than nothing. I mean, he was a very, very tiny
He was
kid, but
shifty.
I mean, he played like a monster, though, man.
That was
Marcus,
like the next question was going into actually like for you coach for you out that's a two-part question for the coaches. But for you guys, like who was some of the toughest players you played against? Like that just stick out to you that made you raise your game up or you couldn't wait to play against them? Or
Kevin
for you
Callis.
guys for coach against them?
Kevin Callis, son,
Um,
number one. Lil Zane. With Zane. I idol that boy from this day. I don't know. It's hard, man, after 35 years. But I do
Right,
want
and you've
to.
done so much.
Mr. Clywise was so special, right? Raymond Merle came in with this West Coast offense, and it was cold, but he didn't have a blocking scheme. So we had trap plays. I had the guards and the tackles pulling. We had all kinds of plays for Mr. Cowwise because he was built like that, and it worked.
yeah.
It worked.
But
So
that
he
year y'all came out, y'all had a super squad. I told Marcus, I said, man, you had Moosey, Ronnie Lampkin, you had Tyrone Lindsey, you had Thomas Helms, little Trey, you had y'all had oh man, y'all had some cats, man. Yeah, I think Ellis stayed with y'all too. Ellis
Marcus
Moody, I
Ruffin.
think he stayed with y'all that year.
Marcus
But
Ruffin.
y'all had so many players, man, that I'm looking like, man, I played with all these cats, man. And then
It's no
the
wonder they
one
went
cat that we
undefeated.
used to get pissed off about playing, he on the same squad. And now I'm like, it was more fitting to play against him. But it was like, damn, I'm playing against all my dogs, all my cats that I'm like you said, Marcus, I played with since I was a peewee, and then I'm with a whole new squad. But the competitive nature is, hey, I'm coming after them. I don't care what it is. And I remember that time we did scrimmage y'all throughout
Yeah.
the season, and me and Marcus went head to head.
I was about to say that.
Yes, and that was a collision out of this world. But hey, even though we had that little collision, I think I was like, man, my adrenaline was rushing so much, I got up and was like, yeah, let's go, next play, let's play. It was so funny,
Hey,
man.
yeah,
But
George was hype. Hey, listen, it was a scrimmage, y'all. Listen to me, y'all, when I tell y'all this. We were scrimmaging back.
Did his phone freeze?
I can
I think his
hear him.
phone.
He got
Your
up
phone.
so pumped up. I think he might have forgot we was homeboys, man. That's how hype
Yeah,
he was.
And
yeah.
nothing like cracking your homeboy. So, Coach Kev, what about you? Who was some of the for you when you played? who was like a competition wise that you could, like a rival almost, like a player that was a rival to you that you couldn't wait to play or try to get it hit on or break off?
Well, going way back, Alex, starting off the top, Alex Allen and SQ. Those guys,
Ooh.
Alex Allen and SQ, them guys are like grown men in the park. You know, I can remember actually in the middle of the field, and Alex Allen and SQ was literally trying to fight me and Coach Blade. They was very mature kids. They was big at 12 years old, and they was about it. You know what I mean? So, I look forward to playing those guys because they played hard. Of course, Cowboys. Back then we wasn't winning a lot, so Cowboys pretty much was dominating us. Uh, then it was just like coaches that you like to face, like Coach Nuby. I love to face Coach Nuby. I still had an attitude towards Coach Nuby from my high school career because even though he gave me my nickname, he was hard on me. So I really didn't like Coach, to be honest with you. So like when we would play them, I was so competitive. You know, I wanted to whoop Coach Nuby's ass like every single time. I wanted to put it on him. I wanted to beat him by 50 because I couldn't let go of my high school years. You know what I'm saying? But part of that competitiveness is the stuff that Coach Nuby put in me, man, because I would see him in the projects early in the day and we would be all cool. And then we would get to practice and he would flip on me. I mean, he would just be like, shut up and you ain't running the play right and get on the line and run these sprints. And just being a black kid from the inner city, you don't have nobody giving you that discipline. I didn't even know what the word discipline was. I thought discipline was getting a whooping.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was being consistent and doing the same thing over and over to get better. Coach Nuby taught me that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was very, very hard on me, man. And so I appreciate that, Coach, because it wasn't really a lot of players. It was coaches that I look forward to playing against. But there was one guy that stood out, and I know y'all think I'm biased. Yeah, I gotta say it, Lynn. Lynn was Lynn. Lynn is probably, other than my son and our Cowboys and a couple others like LJ. Lynn, the most special thing I ever saw down there. So he kept me up at night. Didn't really look forward to playing against him. You know what I mean? Because he was always special. And then, like I say, coaching against Nuby, Coach Noob. Us Brook boys, we would really get up for that. And it was simply because Coach was our mentor. And it was kind of like, we would create a chip on our shoulder, like, oh, he traded on us. He from the Brooks, and he over there with them Southside guys. So we would create, like Coach Nuby said, a lot of what we did was intimidation, but we learned that from TV, from the Hurricanes and different people that they emulated, like the bad guys, Detroit Pistons. And so, but Coach Nuby, he just made us build that chip on our shoulder to beat him. But make no mistake about it, like, we his soldiers, and if anybody would have ever, done anything to Coach Nuby, you would have saw us ride crazy for him because, like, we really look up to him. And then you seen it when he eventually came back to the Titans. And when I think of this kid that got killed, Coach Nuby, I think of you because when you came, you brought Lamar with you. And to be honest with you, Lamar, and you can remember, this is how people I know I'm a fair coach, because Lamar came and he was a quarterback, and my son played quarterback. And they like alternated. But Lamar ended up becoming one of my favorite players, and he was from the Braves. And it was hard for him coming over to the Titans in his last year with the big team and coming from the South Side. But Coach Nuby brought him and protected him and was a mentor to him like he was to me. So, like, I like I say, big props to Coach Noob. I look forward to playing, coaching against you all the time.
Wow.
Can I respond? Can I respond to Kevin Cowler?
Yes, sir. You sure
I
can.
looked at Kevin Cowler and I said, this kid has talent, but he's angry. So I have to find a way for him to divert that anger, aggression to football. Yes, I was hard on Kevin. Every time Kevin made a mistake, Kevin paid. Kevin played offense, played defense. Kevin was a great athlete. Kevin's going to be a future leader. So I'm setting a platform for Kevin. So that's why I was so hard on Kevin, and it paid off.
I definitely appreciate it, man. I sit sometimes and think about it honestly, because you was difficult with me, man. Literally, like, I almost quit it several times because of Nuby, because I just didn't think he liked me in Hop. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, it didn't have really none. I just had never had no structure in my life. Nobody had ever made me do anything that I didn't want to do. And I think that's what's wrong with a lot of our kids is that you could be spoiled in a couple different ways. You can be spoiled in what a person buy you, and you could be spoiled in what a person allow you to do. And I was pretty much allowed to do whatever I wanted to do from the age of 12 on. So when I met somebody that was like a military sergeant, that just didn't, I didn't understand it.
But and to elaborate on that just a quick second, because we want to stick on everything. Man, like you just said, you and Coach Blade, and me coming from the Elks, coming to the new squad, but Coach Blade hit on something yesterday when I asked him about, the podcast, and want to give him his respects because he one of the Panther coaches that I could say I played for literally, and I respected the hell out of. So what I'm saying on that tip is, it's like y'all said, man. Listen to you say, Coach Nuby say what he's saying to you. Y'all, we all from the Brooks. Most of us from the Brooks or was raised in the Brooks or whatever projects, whatever side of town. And like you say, the father figures are the father figures. But the thing with Coach Nuby just showed is what a lot of coaches don't know how to do. Everybody want to be friends. Nah, I can see you with,
Right.
like Coach Blaze said, man. Hey, we used to see y'all cats. We used to watch y'all cats while we in the Brooks. We used to look at y'all. We knew what y'all was getting into. When y'all started playing for us, we hey, we had to make sure we tightened y'all asses up. But then, not to mention, when we got on the field, hey, it wasn't no, oh, what's up, coach, or what's up, this and this and that. What's up, Slade, this and that, or what's up, Kev? Nah, hey man, I'm your coach. Refer to me as coach, and I'm gonna show you I'm your coach with how I'm gonna
Right.
discipline you when you mess up. So that tough love right there, like you saying, man, that's something that brought a lot of character to a lot of us. Like the older you get now, you appreciate it. When you're younger, you like, man, this cat keep riding my ass, man. I'm about to go off, or I'm about to quit. But it's like you said, man, it's you having enough sense to say, hey, I see what I see from the standpoint of a grown man, and he don't see it yet, but I'm gonna bring the best out of him, man. Hey, that's what it's all about, man. I mean, Marcus, you going through that right now because you coaching your son, you know what I'm saying, your both of your kids, and you coaching other kids like that, and you starting to probably see the same thing. But I think that's what a lot of people do fail at. They try to bring the friendship onto the field, and you ain't bringing the best out the kids being their friends.
Respect, respect, respect. So
No doubt about that. You ain't gonna
so
win
Tip,
nothing being their friends. I
no,
don't I
no,
don't
not
I
at
don't
all.
see how you could be win anything. But I'll touch on that too, Georgie. A lot of times, what I see from the outside is people try to create dissension. So like I'm known to have a great relationship with kids. And a part of that is how I learned from Coach Nuby. Because I'm a type of person that I think that some coaches lost me when I was young, and had they took the time to you know, talk to me and reach me, I think that they could have got a lot more out of me. And so that's the approach that I try to use I try to use like a hard, no nonsense, but I also try to get to know the kid, man. I think that it is so important to know a kid's problems, what's going on at home, and to have different roles with that kid, like you said, maybe hard on the field, maybe even during practice. Like I'm not hard on kids during games. I am the most sympathetic coach during game time. I will not get mad at a kid. I'll get mad at my coaches on game day, but on game day, I will never ever dog a kid out because nobody feels worse than a kid who just made a bad play. You know what I'm saying? So, Monday through Thursday, I'm gonna be a mother on you. You may not, I'm gonna be Coach Nuby. But Friday night, Saturday morning, or whatever, I'm gonna be the most encouraging person because I just always believe that the most relaxed player is gonna be the best player. So, I think it's a
Ooh,
fine line,
that's
man, that you
nice.
got to know these kids and show them love, and so that they develop that trust, so they'll go to war for you.
nice, nice,
Nice that.
nice, nice, nice. Um, before we get into the second half of it, I had I wanted to say that I was going one of the he was an elk, and I'll never forget this kid, but he was one of the hardest kids I ever played against. Um, and he was we weren't cool in school. He was kind of like a bully, but on the football field, I couldn't wait. I felt like the football field was the only way to get my hits back on him. But now he's super cool, super mellow dude. Super mellow was so weird. But Marcus Randall, like was a very very hard, dope running back for the Elks. Him and John Figueroa both
Yeah.
ran the ball hard with some hard players. Um, and it's just guys like that. Like I look back and I'm like, wow, I played against Tony Pfeiffer. He was another kid who was, pretty tough kid to play against.
Tony.
So Joe Love. I hated playing against Joe Love. He was fast. Joe Love was like one of the most athletic, awkward dudes ever. Like when I say awkward moving. Like he was just awkward moving, but he was like super athletic. It was weird, but he was amazing. And we got somebody else showing up. Hey.
That's right.
Hey,
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's who is
Coach.
this? Introduce
What up?
yourself.
Introduce yourself, sir.
Okay, my name is Richard Cecil, friend of Coach Nuby. We do various things together. It's more than just sports. He coached my son, taught him a lot of discipline, enabled him to go through and become a Marine. And he had the discipline to go through the Marine Corps and actually retire out of there. So, I just wanted to give a shout out to Noob because a lot of what he does is more than just like coaching. He at-risk kids. He's subject to give a seminar. Do all kinds of things like that. And I appreciate what he's doing in the community. Anytime he need me, all he gotta do is call. I'm there for that man because he take care of everybody.
Amen.
Right.
Amen.
Thank you,
And
brother.
that's the part we got. We got some people say they're still gonna be on their way, Coach Noob. So hopefully they come through. I don't know. Some people have a little bit of technical difficulty, but I definitely want to get into the part now where we honor this man because he is more than just. What I've learned is he's more than just. We're being selfish by just giving him his props for what he's done to the hundreds of young men at Volney Rogers. Um, again, from what I've learned, the Respect Basketball League, what I've learned, he coached high school. What I've learned, he's a very pivotal, still very pivotal, and very important man in the community. So we're just thankful. But one of the things I want to ask you, Coach Noob, is who influenced you? Who was somebody that was a mentor? Who taught you the game, or who told you the game and told you not to sell it, but to give it to us, rest of us young men in the community?
Well, first and foremost, my dad. My dad was a good coach. He coached for the Youngstown Spiders. He was a good leader in the community. So I always wanted to be like him, and I always wanted to use his techniques and fundamentals. But the biggest influence in my life was Mr. Dave Culliver in the Boys Club. That changed my life because before I got to the Boys Club, I was a loser. I was a bum. I was a thief. I wasn't going to school. I was running away from home. And once I got into that Boys Club environment, it just changed my whole perception of life. It changed my perception of trying to empower and save other lives from making the same mistakes that I did. So that's where it all started at. My favorite line is "My way or the highway." If you do it in my way, hit the highway. And the
There
Boys
you
Club had
go.
structure, it had discipline, it was a safe haven for the kids, basketball, football, and all of that. Mr. Culliver was the man, Mr. Force and Melvin Gregory and George Carter, those guys, that team, they set the platform.
Yes, sir.
I,
Yes,
I
sir.
got a one question for you, Coach. And like I said, man, I mean, Coach Kev, some things too for you. Marcus, you
Big
too.
chicken now.
Um,
Just fried
those of you
today.
that's coaching right now, man. Coach Nuby, what would be your advice that you would give the ones that's coming after y'all? Like y'all, like you done already did it. You done made it in the game 35 years. You done had your impact. You you had different ways of reaching
But
kids.
she wants you to
If you could
fry
say
something, you're
one of
gonna
your
go
most
find something.
important
Oh,
things that a coach that's trying to get to that level or get that respect, what you think is something that they should know, or something that you would just like to pass along? Which one of your gems you like to pass along?
First and
You
foremost,
just tripping,
love
bro.
them like they're your son. Treat them like you're your family. You got to worry about the academics. You got to worry about their fundamentals, their discipline. You got to teach them how to praise God. You got to teach them how to respect their family. Those are the core components there. Treat them like you would treat your own son. You with these kids every day, and you see a kid having a bad day and he ain't focused and stuff. Instead of running to death, pull him to the side. What's going on? Or our electric off. Okay, we got to find a way to get it turned back on. So it's more than a job. It's about giving your heart and giving your love and sacrifice and whatever it takes to empower lives and save lives. That's just been my philosophy. And build relationships with them. Like Kev, I used to run the hell out of Kev every time I made a mistake. But I'd scream at the press, Kev, I love you. You're gonna be somebody, you know. So it's the communication and all those different aspects. And I want to touch base on Mr. Cecil here. Mr. Cecil been with me for like 15 years, and every time I came to him, he was there. We need equipment. We need food. We need this. We need that. He was always there. That's why I want him to be a part of this, because he was part of the boys club when we was the Bad News Bears to champion.
Respect,
Thank you, sir.
respect,
Thank you.
respect.
Respect,
Definitely
respect.
respect.
Yes, sir.
And
Thank
that's
you,
the
sir.
same thing. It's a lot of guys that we recognized, that was doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. They may have not coached, but they was on the field. Like me and Marcus talked about that. We can relate to it. Uh, I don't think there's no athlete that ever played a Volney Rogers that have not had somebody else's father that they looked at as their father. Because like somebody said last week, man, we met some of our fathers on the field at Volney Rogers. Coaches might have knew who our dad was. We ain't know who our daddy was. And they like, hey, there go your dad, man. Go over there and speak to your daddy, man. But then again, they was assuming the role of our daddy the whole time. And, hey, mom, everybody knew, like you said, that relationship y'all developed. Hey, here go this right here. I know he ain't got the money, or his mom can't get him the cleats, but I know he needs some nice cleats so he can feel good, because he gonna work his butt off. He gonna appreciate it. So, to see y'all doing that, that's something I see. I think Marcus, we lost Marcus on here. I wanted to ask him the same thing. We see our boy Joe Love on here, but Mr. Cecil,
Whoa.
man, hey, much respect, but we had that Marcus, so we can stay on topic with some gems that you can drop to people that's trying to. You've been doing this for some years now for coaching, or with some things that you feel like you want to know while you got the platform, that for the guys that you had looked up to in coaching. Marcus, I don't know if you caught me, Marcus. I'm talking about what are the gems you want to drop on for somebody that's trying to get into coaching, especially with you coaching both of your boys. Uh, what's some gems you want to drop on us, man?
Hear you?
Well,
Yeah.
coach, my I couldn't hear you because my thing was going. It was like you was going in and out. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you
Yeah,
now.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, nah, well, I mean, basically you just gotta learn your kids first of all, like you said. And then once you learn your kids, you gotta really know football though. See, a lot of coaches just get out there because their kids is out there and they don't really know the game and they just think you're supposed to play and win. But it's more to just winning the game because football is a life lesson. So when you got somebody teaching you the game from a point of view that they know X's and O's versus just such and such to the right, such and such to the left. You got to really know football, and then you just got to build that relationship with the kids. When you break them down or put them in a situation where you being tough on them, you still got to be able to bring them up. Like Coach said, he used to do. Kev, when he ran him to death, he still let them know that he loved them, because the time and era now is different from us. Like our coaches was like really our father figures. Nowadays, you dealing with a lot of single parents with a whole different agenda. You know what I'm saying? And in Atlanta, it's different. When I moved to Atlanta, this coaching is like they don't do middle team, pee wees, big team. They go five U all the way through 14. So and it ain't no weight limits. So you might have a 10-year-old that weigh 300 pounds, and he
Okay. I think we
It's
losing him.
volume.
atmosphere with the
Yeah,
football. Did it go
there we
out?
go.
It went out.
Yeah, you went out.
We hear
Yeah.
you now.
What's up,
We
baby?
hear
Oh
you.
yeah, but somebody was
Hey, we
calling my
did have
phone.
some bait
But I
too.
mean, it's a different atmosphere, man. I was blessed to be able to
Hmm.
have two
I ain't know how to
sons
put that in.
that's really nice on the field. Because Coach Floyd used to take us to Florida, and when we used to go to Florida from Youngstown, we used to be, everybody looked at us like we was the team to beat. But when
Man,
we
we
got
was so
down to
jealous
Florida,
y'all got to go to Florida, man. We used to be so
listen, we
mad.
li- man, listen, we couldn't stand next to these folks down here, next to their sorriest teams, because we was weight limit, they unlimited weight. So it's just a lot of things that I took from where I came from to what I know to where I'm at now, and it's a different toss up. That's why I'm glad y'all put me on because I want to put some invitations out to some things that I got going on that maybe we can just, what I'm saying, put the Youngstown kids on the map and make a trip where they can come to Florida. I mean, they can go to Florida and they can come to Georgia, and I can help, what I'm saying, the guys who doing whatever they doing back at home, just lay out a little blueprint on make it happen.
Hey, that's support, man. That's the idea. Like you said, man. Anybody watching the podcast and listening to the podcast, that's that. Hey, you're throwing it out there, and like you said, man, we're gonna keep promoting it. Anytime you got something going on like that, man, that's something positive to get these kids some exposure and do something good. Hey, man, hey, we all for it, man, because that's the ultimate goal. Just seeing some kids make it out, what I'm saying, out the city on a positive note. You know what I mean? So same thing with you, Coach Kev. You know, with some gyms,
Yeah, you can.
you've been coaching
That's three.
for years. I don't I didn't followed you
Kyler
and
Gang,
got closer with you,
CYLARGANG.
and we'd like to know what's some things that you would say that you can pass down to somebody that's in your position, trying to get to coaching and trying to get on that level too.
All right, I'm gonna book it. I'm gonna book it tomorrow, probably tomorrow.
Okay.
Kev is
Thank you.
working right now.
Coach Kev,
What's up with it?
yeah, what some gems you would say that you can drop or give us some knowledge on when it comes down to coaching that you would like to pass down to somebody that's trying to get into coaching?
Well, first of all, with this group, I think we all agree that it's important for these kids to have coaches, and I think it's the direct correlation that our little league did disappear, and there's been more violence on the street. So, first of all, with this podcast, we need to commit to trying to protect the people that still coaching little leagues, people like Randy, JV, all these guys around. They need more credit. We need to protect those guys because we see what they do on a daily basis. But to the outside world, they just thugs. They just people who they out there and they do this or that. We do need to do more to support them. As far as dropping jewels, I just live by this, man. I treat the kids like they my own sons, and anybody that I ever been affiliated with, they left Coach Kev feeling love. So I would say motivate, inspire, and don't do nothing to no kid that you wouldn't do to your own son. And if that means, I was hard on my kids, so I was hard on other ones, but I also made sure if my son was hungry, I was gonna feed him. If I see he was in need, I was gonna check his needs. You know what I mean? So that would be the jewel to me is, man,
They're hungry.
it's okay to coach your son, but make sure that you're treating all those boys because a lot of them don't have a father or an uncle or a grandfather, and you see the it's long lasting. Like I see Georgie in the military and doing big things. People think like I get caught up with just Lynn. When I see Georgie away from Youngstown, doing big things, having always a fun and traveling, I feel like I had a part of that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really coach Marcus a lot, but when I seen him get away from Youngstown, and I know I had talks with him about leaving Youngstown, and Youngstown ain't for everybody, and to see him go to Atlanta and never come back, those are like success stories to me. So, and I know I treated them guys like my son. So that's what I would say. Just, you get into coaching, man. Treat the boys like they're yours.
Um, we got two more guests that popped in. One of these players I know means a lot to Coach, and I know Coach means a lot to him. I'm gonna let Mr. Anderson go first because I definitely know that bond is both all the guys on here have an amazing bond with this coach. But when I talked to Mr. Edson Brawl, he broke some things down to me that was just inspired. It inspired me. I was about to drive all the way to the yo and give you a hug, Coach Nuby. So I'm gonna let you go first, and I'm gonna let Joe Love go after you.
First of all, I want to say, it is an honor to be on this, to honor such a legend. Uh, Coach Nuby, he's been more than a coach to so many of us. He was always a father figure. A great example of a man. A lot of us grew up without our fathers, and all we had was low league and sports, and he was a positive figure there. You know what I'm saying? He would come get us and motivate us, help us do better. And he not just encourages on the field, he encourages in life. I'm a big fan of Coach Nuby. I love him to death. Like his children is like my siblings. Growing up, I have my own siblings, but like to have brothers and sisters that was close on my age, I got them from Coach. When I said he wasn't just a coach, he was like a father figure, If he seen you needed something, he'd make sure you got it. You need to ride to practice, you gotta ride to practice. If you ain't got spikes, or if you wanted something additional, like you wanted a special mouthpiece, a helmet, this, that, and the other, he would give you a incentive to teach you to go work hard for whatever it is you wanted. And it will help, and you would get it. So, like I said, over the years, even as an adult, as a man, I've been able to come to Coach and just pull his coattail and ask him for advice and things of that nature. So, like when he said he wanted me to be a part of this and talk, I had no choice but to be here. I'm a little late, but I'm here, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Joe Love, you want to go next, brother?
Oh yeah, sorry for being late. I had some flights to catch, but I just want to honor Coach Nuby. I know I was like one of the quiet people on the team, but I always looked up to you as a positive male role model. So I know plenty of times, even though you mostly coach the offense and running backs, you always pulled me to the side, and you was one of the coaches that always kept me in check. If I was out on a football field bullshitting, not giving 100% of full emotions, you pulled me to the side and let me know. Even though you was mostly on the offensive side with the running backs, you always pulled me to the side and let me know that I was bullshitting, fucking up. And even though you never let me play running back, I guess it was all for a good reason. You taught me how to be a team player.
You went that fast, Joe.
Coach Ford wasn't having that. Coach Ford wasn't having that. I gave you the ball. I said, you get me 5 sacks, I would get you the ball. You got me 5 sacks, and I'll let you run the ball.
Yeah, I guess they didn't want me to get hurt.
That's one of the greatest.
No, you wasn't that fast, Joe. That's all.
Oh, I was one of the fastest.
He was one of the fastest.
I was blocked for you. I was a good block for you, July.
Hey, and I'm gonna just say this one thing, man. Joe Love is so adamant, man, about playing running back. And I mean, I never knew this history, bruh. I never knew this history that it carried on into high school. When I came in as a freshman and we seen how fast he was, a freak of nature, man. I mean, you had the lineman, the fastest dude on the team. This was our deepest lineman, man.
Wait. He was not the fastest. No.
He was the fastest. Jamar, he used to put them. Hey, he used to smoke you too.
Ask him who won in the race.
You beat me on the track. You never beat me on the field.
Yeah. It's different. Track speed and field speed.
Yeah,
that's
different.
I'm not going to argue with you about this, but yeah, Joe Love. Go ahead, Joe Love. Finish up because we got another legend in the building.
I think we were scrimmaging Warren Browns. Coach Nuby, he did give me one chance to play running back. I think one play, I missed the block. That was in there. That was in it right there. I missed one block.
Coach, we got another one of your legends in here, Coach. At the bottom,
Granberry. Oh,
yeah, I heard. Hey, wait, real quick, Jerry.
Jerry, what's up, bro?
Not much. How y'all doing?
Let me say this real quick, Jerry. Coach, I heard Jerry had his own plays. Like you just called it Jerry sweep left, Jerry Sweet Right.
That's Granberry Toss Right.
Granberry Toss Right.
There you go.
Right.
I had to simplify this, right? Because once Jerry turned the corner, light
Gone.
out.
Oh,
Jerry wouldn't run up the middle. He wouldn't run off tackle. He couldn't remember the numbers. So I said, Granberry Toss Right.
Jerry
How did Jerry
Jerry
start
left.
football then?
And Jerry, oh my God. Oh my God, man. Jerry, he turned that corner, man. Nobody wanted to hit Jerry. And he had world-class speed.
Yeah, he did.
And he came in kind of late. We had a complicated system, and I was calling plays from the sideline with signals and stuff. But Jerry,
he came like late summer.
Joe Love was so quick. He was in the backfield before they even snapped the ball.
Yeah.
Hey, and it was like that at high school too. It was like that at high school. I think you graduated with. I think that year we played. You had your senior year. You had what? 16 sacks, Joe, or was it 15?
Yeah. Like, 18.
Yeah, my bad, bro. My bad.
And Antoine was the most fundamentally sound and had great techniques. And he was a good listener, man.
Thanks.
And I said, Antoine, you gonna do big things, man. But the most important thing about discipline, techniques, and fundamentals, you apply it from the football field to your life. You apply techniques, discipline, fundamentals, hard work ethic. You apply it to your life skills, to your family, to your job. You take it from the field, you transition it to life. And that's what these three gentlemen did.
Amen.
And Joe Love, I tried to give you the ball, man.
I know. I missed that one block. I know.
Coach Ford is gonna fire me, man. He said, "Don't come in with that grade stuff. We playing defensive line."
Damn, Joe, you couldn't get a tackle reverse.
Huh?
They wouldn't give you a tackle reverse, Joe Love.
I sucked it up for the team and just got on the line. I was a good blocker though too.
Hey, I remember in high school, man, when we got to run the track, and then I was like, Joe, man, why didn't you play running back or receiver? He said, I can't catch, and I try to play running back, and nobody won't give me the chance. He said, my hands is big, but they tell me I don't hold on to the ball. I was like, Joe, man, you're the fastest cat I've ever seen, bro. Like, I think when we did he was the first leg for our relay for the 4x1 and was cooking everybody. And I'm like, how is this dude a lineman, bro? How is he a lineman, man?
Because the reason why he was a lineman, we had Craig Stevens, we had the Graham brothers, Antoine, Granberry. We had all these running backs, and the Joe's at the bottom of the list. But he dominated.
And that's not a knock on Joe. When I played, we had any running back that played during that time with me, whether it was a year or two older or a year or two under, I promise you, was a starter somewhere else. Our backups were starters somewhere else. We all should have been at our own high school, our own junior high. We had so much talent, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Speed, power guys.
Tony Clark.
It was
Y'all
just
heard from Tony Clark?
Even Tony, man. Tony was an animal. It was a lot of guys, man. We had a lot of running backs. But Joe was so silly all the time. Even though he really wanted to play running back, we didn't really know if he wanted to play running back or not. Because if you know Joe, man, Joe was funny. He had jokes and stuff. So you wouldn't know if he was serious or not. But I guess in high school, he was serious.
Yeah, he was serious.
Hey, high school, the leader, bro. That dude stayed in the weight room. Hey, when I say you had to respect him, you had to respect him. And he make it known, like his actions show, man. You just if you was an athlete and seeking getting better, you follow Joe. I will say that. And I'll say the same thing with Jamar. Like I said, I wanted to play running back so bad, but I was 118 pounds freshman. But I'm looking at these cats, but I just had fundamentals of technique, and that was it. You know what I'm saying? So
Coach,
Man.
man, thanks, bro. Coach Noob, I'm gonna give you a quick shout out in a major way. And you were right. So we go to the Mahoney Valley County All-Star game, right? Me and Joe Love. And them coaches out there, I think we were out at wasn't Canfield. It was like way out there, like Girard or something.
It's on Champion or something like that.
Champion, it was Champion. Them coaches see how fast like me, Squire, and Joe Love are. They're like, oh my God. So they take Joe Love, like your coach didn't put you at receiver? So they throw him out there at receiver. Me and Squire is dying laughing. They throw the ball and he open because he smoked the cat and it go right through his head like blue, 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 blue. Every time he wide open,
and he said it.
That's one thing about coaching I don't like. You're supposed to give a kid an opportunity.
Yeah.
Joe. Now, the Broncos wasn't having that. You ain't running no football. My philosophy is I'm gonna give you a try, and if it don't work, we're gonna do it my way. But I never got an opportunity to do that, Joe. So I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Hey, he's still mad about it to this day, man. He adamant about that. He like, I was supposed to play running back.
That wasn't my fault. They had him locked in on the line before I even got there.
It is right.
All right, but back to a serious note, while definitely part of the reason why we're here for Coach Nuby is and again, we're selfish just to want to hold you all to ourselves because of your Volney Rogers contributions. But how did the opportunity with the Respect Basketball League come about?
Well, first and foremost, I used to run a 21 and over basketball league, and that's for guys 21 and over. I did that for like a couple of years. And then my cousin got killed. Damon Irby's son got killed. And I was sitting back like, these young cats don't have nothing to do. They don't have no coping skills. They don't have no life skills, this, that, and the other. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to create something. So God told me to put together a basketball league. And in order to play, you had to go to training. So we had classes on anger management, substance abuse, drug, alcohol, all different kind of things that can improve your skills. And then you can play basketball. So I had people coming in talking about drugs, talking about alcohol, talking about anger management, domestic violence. And then you go to that class, and then you go play basketball. And then we had some of the top kids in the city playing basketball. So I took that proposal to Tito Brown and the chief police, and they went for it. And so that's how all that started. So I'm moving from pee-wee and middle-aged kids and middle team, big team, that's to adults now.
Is that league still going on?
Yes, the league is still going on, but I stepped down because I retired from everything. I got some grandkids I'm trying to get in college, trying to get them right. So it's time to focus on them. But the league is still going on. Everything's still in place. We just finished up our second year.
That's respect, man. That's mad respect for the city, for real. That's that silent move that, like you said, you seeing it and you didn't, did something to kind of like try to make that change. Because like you said, sports is really our only outlet, has always been pretty much our only outlet out there is sports. So, man, that's big. That's big. That's really big.
227 kids off the streets from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. every Saturday. And crime was down.
Wow. Yeah. That's dope. That if they could get the exposure in that league, like far as like you said with the social media and everything else, that's going to encourage more people to probably get out there and actually like, get somebody an outlet to like come to. I was saying that not too long ago, like Jamar, he stay where he stay, I stay where I stay, Joe stay where he stay. But when I come back home, man, the biggest thing I've like really got a kick out of these last couple of visits was just being able to go to Rand and watch the Little League games. And man, to see like it going on nonstop, it brought back so many childhood memories where it's a lot of us on this podcast right now that we look at and we say, man, we could have did things different. We would probably been in the league. We'd have had coaches like y'all that carried on with us to the high school level, that stayed on our ass, that pushed us, that like brought the best out of us. So it's like to hear that just something like that on a basketball tip going on the weekends too. That's just something else to be interested in to go see when you come in town. It's like you say, it got to be activities for everybody to do to keep everybody kind of occupied, man, where it's less stuff going on.
We also got them. We have job fairs where we got them jobs. I had Huntington Bank come down and teach them banking skills.
Wow.
I had certified therapists come down. Some kids got anger issues. Some kids have mental issues. They need help. We had them take a survey to answer some questions about this, that, and the other, and half the kids couldn't even spell. So it was a very powerful program, and I'm very, very proud of it. It's going to keep going. The city going to keep it going. But kids need help, man. You giving them the necessary tools first before you even go on that court. You miss 2 training sessions, you're done for the week.
Wow.
It was very, very. We had a lot of talent too. I had a friend named Dave Clark, right? He's from Youngstown. He's a regional scout for the HBC. So they had a conference up in Tennessee, right? And they asked Dave. They had made him the regional director for this area, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Dave, we want you to go down there and see what's going on with that Respect Basketball League in Youngstown, right? They in Tennessee at a HBC conference talking about our league. They want to come down and recruit our kids. And the first thing they're talking about is character and grades. And that's what they're looking for. They came down, they scouted, they talked to a couple of kids. So that also put us on the map too. Because the most important thing is being accountable, academics, being responsible, respect, discipline. A lot of stuff you missed in high school, a lot of stuff you missed in Little League, but it ain't never too late to learn.
Yes, sir.
So that was what the program was built around. Like Antoine and Joe Love and Jerry and Marcus, they learned all this in middle playing football. You
gave them the fundamentals.
Yeah, and Volney Rogers, but some kids they missed that little window where they miss all of them components. So that was my goal, to try to help them before it's too late. And the age limit was 19 to 25.
Wow.
So
you were still able to get colleges to come down, or like you said, somebody from the HBCU to come down and check them out. Yes. And I think, like, and I'm gonna be honest, man, like, to hear you say that, like when you listen to a lot of athletes that might have had felt like they missed the opportunity after high school, and they kind of give up, or they be like, man, I'm done. It is all I got left to do. And then you sit there and you say, hey, I can still get in the league. It's sort of like playing semi-pro. If you can get that person to come out and scout you or get that opportunity, you like, hey, all I need is that chance. So, like, to hear a league like that going on, I mean, that's so much respect, and that's something big that, I mean, I didn't know about it. Like I said, I'm not in the city no more, but to hear that, it's like, you can't do nothing but respect that and like say, man, hey, if it's anything that you guys need, we definitely would like to keep that thing going, man, to get these cats going. Because, like I said, one person said the best, man. Youngstown got so many athletes.
Yes.
That is so crazy, because the world only get to see a piece, a small fraction of what talent we got out of our city, man. It like you say, grades might hinder some of us. Certain little stuff might happen, man. Somebody might catch a little charge, and then next they done. And we don't look at like there's no other opportunities outside of that. You know what I'm saying? That window of high school. That's what you taught and programmed. And like you showing right now, it's like a redemption story. It's like, hey, yo, you play this, but then again, just because they ain't happen to high school, we got another league, and we bringing people here to kind of look at y'all where, hey, they can work with you and get you in. I mean, that's a win-win right there, man. That's a automatic win. And you winning, like you said, by building character too, by enrolling in these programs.
He's giving them the program is giving them opportunities, second chances, in more than just sports. It's giving them the fundamentals. Like he said, the fundamentals that they needed to succeed in life, period, can be applied to sports. And that's what the main purpose and the goal was, is like, yo, like I can give you the opportunity to do this, but we're also going to show you this and give you some of the fundamentals that you need. Like again, that's dope. Have the Huntington Bank come down and have a talk with these guys and show them how to balance the checkbook. Just different things. I used to work for a fatherhood program called Brothers United here in Toledo, and they would do that. They would get the fathers and they would provide them free lunch every day. If you had a car, we gave you $150 gas card for the 8-week program. Every week we get not 150, like $75 every week for you to be able to make it. We fed you. We spent $300 every day, 5 days a week, on making sure we fed them whatever was the leftover food, soda, water, whatever the heck they got to take it home to their families. We bought them suits. Everybody, when they went through the program, they bought them suits and some shoes to wear to an interview. We took you to interviews, and it was about if your license was suspended because of child support, we help you get your license back and gave you classes on how to be a better communicator. Because again, we have a lot of men that have experienced, especially in our community, trauma and don't know how to deal with that trauma. And we normalize trauma. We normalize that hurt, that pain, that anger, and think that that's just the normal way to behave. So when it got like Coach Cam said earlier, he was angry. He was just angry. He was just mad at the world. Yeah, he was just an angry individual. And so what Coach Nuby did, he was like, all right, I'm going to use that anger and turn it around and make him use it in a positive manner. He's going to be so pissed off. He's going to go out there now. He's mad at me, but he's going to go out there and run the ball harder. He's going to go out there and practice harder. He's going to go out there and do these things and get that anger out. And I mean, look at the man now. Now he turned around like the light bulb clicked one day. He's like, oh, I get it. So see, I mean, that's what it's about.
And that's another question, man. Like you said, the fundamentals that you teaching everybody. I'm gonna just say this: I ain't learned how to manage a checkbook until I got into the military and I started making my own mistakes. Because the typical situation, I think everybody on this podcast can say, everybody's family was living check to check down there in our city. So if my mama don't know how to do a checkbook herself, because they looking at all they doing is counting the little couple of dollars they got. Some of them ain't even got bank accounts. You know what I'm saying? And I was fortunate. My grandmother took me to the bank when I hit high school. We opened up an account, but then again, I still didn't know how to manage it. You get what I'm saying? It's not taught to us. So, like you said, we that's a disadvantage at times because, you know, like you say, half of us are just struggling to make it check to check or day to day anyway. So to get these kids or even adults now this stuff early, which it should be pushed in high school, junior high school, you know what I'm saying? But it's not, you know. So like you said, man, your program right now, man, is so inspiring, man. Like I said, if there's any type of donations I can give or anybody else can give, you know, same thing with you, Marcus. Like I said, everybody understand that's on here. Hey, yo, man, Marcus got his program going on with the kids down there. Let's try to like shoot him a donation. I give you a chance to throw your Cash App info out there, Marcus. But I definitely will be, you know, trying to make sure we throw something out there to you too, bro. Because like you said, it's all about the kids, man, and seeing these kids have opportunities that we kind of passed up or we just missed, you know.
But one thing I want to say is this generation right now, man, the most important thing now is if you got something that works for you, like it worked for Joe Love, it worked for Antoine, it worked for Jerry, it worked for Marcus, so you stay with that. I was running the league, right? And these kids came in late, like weed, right? I said, yo, where y'all going? We going to the game. I said, no, I'm not smoking no weed. Nope. You're not playing today. You're gonna have to do some drug abuse training. Past that, and I'll think about letting you back in. That's what they had to do. One of my refs was late, Dave Height, so I had to go out there and ref, right? I called the call and do. He said, nigga, what kind of call is that? So I'm looking around like, you know, I got on my shirt and everything. I'm like, who was you talking to? I'm talking to you, nigga. I was like, beep, beep. And I had the police escort him out. And then when I started talking to him, I said, listen, watch Roots. Watch Rosewood. and you see why that word will not be tolerated, right? And I'm trying to send a message to him because he have to understand your culture, the struggle, everything you've been to. That word will not be tolerated. So I had to sit down with him and I explained that to him. So the next game he came back, he apologized every time he see me. How you doing, coach? This, done, the other. I pulled him over and talked about some things. He ended up getting MVP of the league.
Wow,
that's amazing.
So you have to set a standard and you have to stick with it. You know, like I said, the standard right now is kind of hard for this new school. It's hard for my grandkids, but they're gonna figure it out because I'm not turning it down. I'm turning it up.
And like you said, like I said, I talked to Marcus briefly yesterday or the day before when I was trying to get him on a podcast, and I talked to my brother Randy Triplett, same thing, and it's like like everybody's saying, man, it ain't what we used to get taught. So things are evolving, and I think that's where, like you said, some of us older guys that held on to what we hold on to now, the memories, the things that we appreciate, man, this stuff ain't clicking to what y'all was doing for us until about now. Right. We all damn near 40 on here or 40 plus, and man, it's just starting to click in. Like, damn, man, these coaches was really putting in some work. Yes, and we ain't see the behind the doors type stuff y'all was doing. We ain't seeing y'all going spending y'all money, getting cleats, gas money, them sleepovers, like you said, hey, as a father now, hey, the amount of hours you spending with other kids, and then who's to tell when your wife come in or your old lady looking like, well, you spend more time at the football field than you do at home. This is stuff that that's like observing now as adults. Like, man, I tell my friends, like, I don't have time to play video games. Say, between being a father, making money, doing what I gotta do, how can I sit here and play the game for about 4 or 5 hours? It's just not possible. And then, like you say, if you're coaching, man, I watch my brother do it, he'd be exhausted, but like you said, it's his passion. It's the passion and the love for the game and the love that you're developing for the kids. And, like you said, man, we don't get half this stuff until now. It's sad, but we don't. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people could agree with that.
Yeah.
I definitely I agree with that because as much as you've done for our community, us that's on here over the years, it's like just now, like I'm sure people have told you over time, hey coach, I thank you, I appreciate you. But something as small as like this podcast, just to honor you, is like this been overdue. Overdue. We should have been able to get with our little league coaches, especially the coaches that really poured into the kids. Right. The ones that was dedicated more so to the kids than they was their own family. Right. And it was like you took away from your family, but you gained so much more, as far as like more children, more family, and the love you gain, I promise, man, is immeasurable. No one can tell you, what I'm saying, really the impact that you've had on this community. I've had stories or share stories with a lot of friends that played with me, and they talk about just little things, being able to talk to coaches, especially a good coach, not just a coach, but a coach we can relate to. Because, like, today's kids, they got that Randy Triplett. You know what I'm saying? And to me, he's like the next Coach Nuby. There'll never be but one Coach Nuby, but he's like the next thing because he can relate to these kids. He got these kids, you know what, I'm gonna be good in school because I can't play sports.
Yeah.
I remember, like, that was my biggest thing. Like, if my grades wasn't right, no matter how good I was, coach would let me play.
Wow.
This is before we got to the point where we're in high school and we got to have certain grades to play. So those type of things was instilled into me young. Like, yo, your mama said you got a C, or you failed this test this week. And if my mom told my coach that, guess who didn't play that week? but coach would put it on me and be like, listen, you're not only letting me down, you letting your team down because you're not doing what you're supposed to do in school.
Right.
To be one of the elite running backs on the team, and I can't play, and we mess around and lose because I couldn't play because my grades wasn't right.
Right.
It made me be even more motivated in school. Like, yo, I got to keep my grades up. Coach ain't gonna play me. And this is before, like I said, this is before like high school when you really can't play if your grades ain't right. So it was just so many little things you did that I don't think you really get enough credit or realize exactly how impactful you was on so many of us. Like even like myself, you know what I'm saying? I had my fault when I went away. I did my time and I came home. But when I came home and I saw you, you gave me a big hug. You talked to me. You told me like, listen, that don't define you. You are bigger. You're better. You know what I'm saying? I believe in you still. And you might
That's
not
dope.
remember this conversation, but it was that conversation. It was so impactful on me still to this day. And I'm like, you know what? Coach believed in me. I gotta believe in myself like Coach did. Like it was just extra motivation, man.
Wow.
It's man. Listen, your legacy is impeccable, man. What you've done for so many of us in this community is immeasurable, man. I can't thank you enough.
I appreciate it, man.
Damn, man, that's deep, bro. You got me up here like, hey,
Yeah, you
hey,
better not shed no tears.
hey, look, I'm like, damn, dude. Hey, that's real, man. That's real.
Because
That's
Nah.
he
real.
did it effortless, man. He did it effortless. There wasn't no game behind it besides seeing us succeed. So it definitely
Right.
was progress.
And I think that's what separates the real from the fake, or the success is because of the fact that, like you said, man, it's so much passion and what he's saying and what he's doing, and it's effortless. And so it don't have to be a front for him. And I think, like you said, man, listening to you, bro, I'm like, damn, man, like I ain't gonna lie, that's some deep stuff right there, bro. You
Exactly.
know,
Yo, can we? I want to give a chance for everybody in here, in a major way to, if you can quickly, not quickly, not to rush you, but we getting late to go ahead and express or what Coach Noob, means and has meant to you. And I want to go with the OG, the guy who's known Coach Noob the longest, Mr. Cecil. I want to let you go ahead a chance to get the first to explain that, to let us know what that brotherhood has meant to you, and if you can, please.
Okay. It's kind of like, he's like a big brother to me. He might be a father figure to you guys, but he was a little older than me, so he's like a big brother. Me and his little brothers used to play ball and stuff together, and he always kept us in line. If we was doing something we weren't supposed to, we always knew was somewhere around watching, and would get on our ass and get us straight if we wasn't doing the right thing, and always wanted to give you advice, on how you should go. Those things help me a lot, keep on a straight and narrow, not because a lot of my friends aren't here anymore because of different things they did. And he just helped us and kept us going on the right path. And one more thing, speaking of the right path, I'm gonna have to get off here because I gotta be at Cleveland at 5 o'clock in the morning and
Man,
for the JOB. So
Well, I appreciate you,
safe
man.
travels, safe travels, sir.
yeah.
Thank you
Coach.
for coming on. Appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. We'll be in touch, bro.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Joe Love, did you want to go next?
Oh yeah. So when Jamar told me he was doing this podcast about on the Volney Warriors League, honoring players and coaches, like you was one of the first coaches to come to mind because you've been around since like the boys club. Even though I was playing for the Broncos, I was always seeing you being active with youth sports. Then you came over to the Broncos for that 1 or 2 years. And I always looked up to you as a positive male role model. Because, my dad wasn't around. He was in the streets doing his thing. And I just looked up to you as a positive role model. And you were one of the coaches always like pull me to the side when I was out of line, when I wasn't giving like 100%. You pulled me to the side like, hey, you need to be doing this, doing that. You need to be doing it for your teammates. You're not showing enough passion, not enough emotions, and you brought the best out of me during that time. And I just wanted to recognize you for it and just say like thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Dope. Mr. Anderson, you want to go next, sir?
Yeah, I'll make it quick because I think I said exactly how I feel about Coach already. But again, I just want to thank you and let you know that you are appreciated, and the impact you had on my life and so many others has been so positive. And all I can say is thanks, Coach. Appreciate you more than you
Appreciate
ever
you.
know. I love you, Coach.
Love you too, man.
Jig.
What's going on?
Grandpa Charles, right?
Yep. I mean, Coach Noob, you was just an inspiration to me. I think you was like a role model when I needed one most. You was somebody I could look up to when it was just if football is discipline and you were just a good person to look up to. And all the new people, the friends and the football, everything I learned, I was just happy to be. It was just a nice family there.
Yes, sir.
All right. Kyle Wise, you still there?
He might have stepped away for a quick second, but what I'll do is I'm gonna just say, look,
Nah, I'm here
I
now.
haven't like personally played for you, but I can say just the impact on that player that you got that wanted to play running back, that impact you made on him. To hear him say what he's learned and was instilled in him from you, I could say I respect you on that. And I only say that because, like I said, when I got to high school, the impact that this dude had on me as a freshman and how much I looked up to him, he don't even know it. Like it was like he was talked about even after he graduated. When we played our following season, we like, yo, man, it's like it's only one Joe Love on the field, and it was like Joe never gave up on any play, man. We could be getting blown out and Joe still making sacks. And I mean, like I said, it's just the dude just never quit. And then you go to the weight room and he in the weight room. Now he wasn't boisterous. That's one thing about Joe. If he ever spoke, he was pissed. So you ain't getting that from him. The side that y'all saying him joking, I'm like, Joe just gave that same look at you. I'm like, okay, you ain't gonna lift weights? Okay. He was like preacher off of he was like preacher off of Friday Night Lights. You know what I'm saying? But I say for that right there, man, I say I respect you. And then listening to this podcast, man, I admire you for everything you have done and trying to do in the community. And that's all I got to say on that part right there, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Marcus, brother.
Yes, sir. Where do I start? Coach New. Well, I could say one thing. Starting off, Coach New really he showed me how to be family oriented. He like set the blueprint of the perfect family. And with my journey now, you don't really see the kids and what they go through. No matter if it was a sunny day or a bright day at the Nuby's house, we never knew that. He never let us see them sweat. So he always went out his way. You never see no dysfunctional family activities. It always was love. You know what I'm saying? Whether you was immediate family or whatever the situation was, Noob was respected on all sides of town. A lot of coaches never really left their area. Noob was neutral. He can go anywhere and was respected.
Anyway,
And it wasn't
Wow.
nothing that he was doing. He wasn't doing stuff on the strength of, a lot of people had they hidden motives behind it. And Noob always had a genuine love for his players from the bottom to the top. It wasn't no favoritism. It wasn't no, oh well, this kid ain't good. We don't care if he make it. No, everybody made it. Everybody was taken care of. Everybody was supported. It was a love. And for that, that's one thing that I appreciate. But like I said, when he took the opportunity, he took me to a different level with the Raiders. This is a story I always explain to people because they never thought I'd lead the Broncos. You know what I'm saying? And the hurt that I took, he saw my face. He saw it. Like, I don't know if he remembered the story, but when the coach told me what he said, I looked at Coach Nuby, he looked at me, and he looked, and I don't know if he called Mike Dowdy. I don't know if he called him right away. But only thing I know, we hopped in that Cadillac and we went to the Westlake Projects, and we ain't looked back since. You know, and like he said, we practiced. I swear, we practiced every day. We ain't have no worries about nothing. We ain't had no equipment, but we just knew it was coming. We had an 18 wheeler back up on the field. We hopped up on that truck. You know, it was just a different experience. A lot of kids wasn't seeing that. Brand new everything. We grabbing jerseys, you know, we helmets, cleats, Nike cleats. You know, it was just overwhelming, man. And it was very, very appreciated because it was all things that we took with us now. And you know, I use that to, my advantage right now, what I do with my boys. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, I got these children, man. They always wanting something, bro. You know. But nah, like I said, I use that in my everyday forecast of what I do now, as far as with my coaching and stuff, man. It's not many people that I can say through my little league years that really, really, really showed me love. A lot of people, it was just about the sports and winning the game, But outside of sports, we had activities that we took place, and he took me in like I was one of his. And that's just, that's forever. I'll be forever grateful, thankful. He instilled prayer into me because that was one thing that a lot of coaches didn't do. We used to pray. And like I said, as I got older, it was still the same respect. Y'all know we was knuckleheads. We might see Coach Nuby out when we wasn't even supposed to be out. And he ain't gonna say nothing to you in front of your peoples, but he definitely gonna check you when it's y'all turn. For real. Twan,
Thank you.
we used to
Appreciate
be
it.
out there,
Already
I
know,
ain't
bro.
saying everybody, but we used to be out there doing our own thing, and Noob, he ain't gonna front on you. He ain't gonna make you feel no
Yeah,
type
we
of
had the
way, but
Elks, and we used to take y'all home for practice, and we was up in the Elks partying, man. Partying. Got to keep the grown man up, As long as you keep your boundaries, right?
Yeah.
um,
man.
I
But
wanna
yeah,
I
that's what I
wanna
want to
go
let y'all
ahead.
know though. I
Oh,
don't know
my
if y'all
bad.
heard what George was saying.
Yeah.
No, it's all good.
No,
I
we
don't know
should.
if y'all was listening to what George saying, but I'm taking my team. We're going to Fort Lauderdale Monday. We'll be down there for a week, man. I've been reaching out to family and friends. Like I said, anything helps, bro. I'm just trying to get down there, win a national championship, and also this is the platform that I need, guys. Because if we all put our heads together, man, we can start bringing them kids from Youngstown, getting them out to see different things, playing different type of football, even from all sides of towns. Because we got the talent, but bruh, you gotta leave Youngstown to see something different. And like
Yes, you
Kev
do.
said earlier, when I left, bruh, I haven't. I can count on. I've been gone since 2009. I've probably been back to Youngstown 3 times, and unfortunately, it was all for funerals. You know what I'm saying? And it just got to the point where I'm like, I got to position myself, man. And when I seen what Randy was doing, it was just like a blessing in disguise because when he reached out to me, I'm like, it's weird because I was just thinking about like I need to reach out to his little brother so I can start trying to, put something together so we can actually do something for Youngstown. I got people down here that I'm connected with, but I'm gonna be on the Youngstown side. If we can bring the kids from Youngstown to play these Georgia teams, it just be an experience for them kids, man. And I'm all for it.
That's dope. That's dope.
Hey
Coach,
Marcus, make sure
we gonna
you
link up with yeah.
with your Cash App, bro. I got it, but make sure you put it out there or Jamar just shoot it. I'll shoot it to Jamar so he can
I'm gonna
kind of
link up
like
with you. We gonna get creative with it and put it out there more. We gonna put some promotions and stuff, and I'm quite sure all these guys don't mind sharing it on their
yeah,
Okay.
platforms as well, so we can do something. Um,
Right.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
Coach
yeah.
New, I just met you within the past week, and you've already made an impact on my life. In the sense of it's you are truly the definition of it's more than a game. It extends to off the field. It extends into your well, these kids were your personal life, but it extends it's so much more. It is so much more than just football. What you've done with the Boys and Girls Club to the Respect League to even the other work that you've done that Mr. Cecil was talking about. And I commend you. I respect you, and I want to thank you for giving me for teaching fundamentals and great work ethic to some of the most amazing players I got to either play with, or play against. From Joe Love to having to have him on the opposite team to getting to play with him. Same thing for Jerry. Jerry was one of the older running backs when I got to Rand, who kind of was like cool, took me under his wing, and whatever case. He did stand by while I got Hayes with the icy hot. He didn't save a brother, but that's cool. But in all honesty, sir, this is why I wanted to do it, because Kevin Point, with you are to these guys, Kevin Point, Dexter, and Ivan Thompson, and even Coach Chum was to me, and Coach Carter as well. And the other players I played with, I want to be able to honor and respect them too. And so I thank you for allowing me to get these amazing students, these amazing adopted sons of yours together, so we can honor, respect you, give you your props that are long overdue, and be able to put it out there. We thank you. I thank you.
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate that. And like the most important thing that really makes my heart feel great is my family, man. My family. I love my family so much, man. And I'm spending time somewhere else when I'm supposed to be there, but I'm still holding it down. And for them to see this podcast and see that I'm respected and that I'm appreciated. And now they see, my one daughter said, "You should have been recognized a long time ago." I said, "Okay, picture now." Okay, so I'm good. But I appreciate this, man. This really puts the icing on the cake. I'm retired now, and it's really icing on the cake, man. I'm blessed, man. Blessed.
And I'm gonna tell you something that I think we with this platform is helping out Jamar, and I like to thank Jamar again, man, for asking me to help co-host this. I remember Coach Turco had did something like that. He said, "Hey, they have banquets. They have certain things for coaches. You know what I'm saying? In the city, where like they honor coaches and guys like how we doing right now. We're doing it on a virtual level, but it's like like my man said that just got off or might have lost connection. And this should have been done years ago. And it'd be nice to be able to come back and have like a little thing or banquet or plaque or something like that for these coaches like this.
Oh,
man.
we working on it, brother. We working on
Yeah,
it.
you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah,
y'all putting stuff together, and it's like listening to these stories, man, and just like the biggest thing that just touched me, man, just to hear a dude say, "Man, hey, I made my mistakes," and coach said, "Man, that don't define who you is as a person. You still somebody, man." That right there says it all, because I mean, I don't think it's not too many kids in the city that has not made a mistake. And so when you make that mistake, that one mistake overshadows your positive work that you could have done. You could have done a plethora of donations, everything, or whatever it may be. But that one mistake seems like it always get held over your head. So to hear a coach say, "Hey, that don't define you," and to have my guy on here say, "Hey, man, look, man, I kept that in mind and I kept on a positive route." Hey, man, that's respect, bro.
Right.
That's nothing but respect, man. And I sit there and I gotta commend him for that. And I, like you said, Jamar, hey, man, that's something else we could kind of like try to look into, man. Where guys are sitting there like, "Hey, yo, let's every couple of years." Like Tim Rutledge was another guy on the Elks. Coach Dowdy was another guy on the Elks. Mr. Redmond, these guys that started organizations and was coaches that was like on the ground like nonstop. You got them all, man. Coach Leroy, he's still coaching the East Bears, junior high squad. All these coaches that even coached us and was coached by some of y'all. It's amazing to hear you coach Coach Kev. Like I said, I mean, I would have never thought you coached him. I'm like, you can't be that old. You look good for your age, man. Being honest though, you look good for your age.
Thank you.
So
hey George, I ain't gonna lie though, that was new news to me too though. I ain't know that neither though. I ain't know that.
Coach Kev, I was a defensive back coach. That year we had Darnell Bracey and Scott and Purdue and
Purdue.
Leo
Yeah.
Hudson,
Ooh,
Okay.
you saying
the
some
name,
names too.
the
He's
name
saying some names.
Christian,
John
yeah.
Purdue.
Yeah, you saying
Hey,
some names.
hey, listen.
Not John
Y'all
Purdue,
boys gotta pat yourself too, man.
the running back, Chuck Purdue, Charles
Yeah,
Purdue.
Yeah, Chuck.
yeah,
Charles
Yeah, yeah.
Purdue.
I
yeah.
was Kevin's
Hey,
receiver coach,
Georgie.
and I was Kevin's
Yo.
defensive back coach. And Kevin used to be angry, and everybody like, we ain't even dealing with Kevin. He sent him over to me. And I said, man, dude got potential. He's just angry. First, I got to find out why he angry. He angry the same reason why I'm angry, because we grew up, we didn't have nothing, we didn't have no father in our life, we was bums, we was thieves. That's why we angry. So once we get closure on that and move on with your life, you're good. I'm going to teach somebody else not to be like me, not to take the same path as me, and be better and grow and take care of my family.
That's
Yeah,
respect.
every time Kev made a mistake, Kev was running. Yeah, man. Like he said, he wanted to punch me in my face, but hey, it all worked out, because
Yes, sir.
Kev needed that in his life.
Yes,
That's
sir.
respect. That's
He needed
respect.
that. And
So
all you
for all
guys,
the
I love you guys, man. I respect you guys. Anything I can do for this platform, I will do it. Marcus, I'm gonna try to see if I can get some money together for you. Tag me in some of your posters and stuff. I know people in high places. I'm willing to help with this platform. I'm willing to help y'all, but I'm not coaching.
we appreciate
Hey,
you. I want to
listen
go
though,
ahead while
Coach
we all
Noob.
here give you your props and a round of applause,
Yes,
Coach.
sir.
Thank you.
No doubt, no
Thank you,
doubt, no
Coach.
doubt.
Thank you, man.
Respect,
Appreciate you so
respect,
much.
Gary
respect.
toss right. That's my favorite play.
Hey, that's the
Hey, listen
funniest
though.
thing out now,
I got
man.
one more
It's
thing
good
though.
seeing y'all
I
guys
got one more
again too,
thing.
man.
Okay, man. All right, Joe. I love you, man. All
Hey,
right.
look, I got one more thing
Yeah.
before y'all leave though. We gotta honor y'all too for putting this together, guys, because this y'all don't understand. This is a platform that really can grow and help people. Like with Joe Love, I don't know the last time I seen my boy, and it was just good to see him. When I'm looking, I'm like, I know that ain't Joe. I ain't seen Jerry. I ain't seen y'all in a minute, bro. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, you need to get together more on positive levels versus funerals. You know where we from? That's like the only time we see each other though.
Yes,
You
Yeah,
sir.
know?
Yes,
true.
sir. We
Yeah.
is, man, and it's gonna grow, bro. And I'm definitely gonna have you back on because we got more players and more coaches to honor. And heck, man, as much as you a legend, we might be just featured a whole bunch of cats on here sitting there talking about you, bro. So I mean, that's the goal. Is we give them flowers, man. These coaches put out some phenomenal players, and these players are turning around doing phenomenal things. So, hey, it's Coach Noob helped you. Now you helping somebody else, and
Exactly.
bro, we just want to continue the thing. And yes, we want to build it. So all y'all definitely welcome to come back on. If y'all hit me up in messages that you can think of other coaches, other players, whoever, because we want to continue it on. Because like Coach Noob was telling me, man, there's more coaches to come, and more players
And
to come. So
and there's different ways of, like you said, with the networking, man. This whole platform is for networking. Like Marcus, I knew you was active with your kids. I didn't know you was on that part of coaching to that extent. So it's like you said, bro, when it's coming out to reaching out, like I say, this is the platform right here. None of
yeah,
us don't really know what everybody got going on. So because like you said, we're not all seeing each other like that. Like I never knew about the respect league, for the basketball. Never knew about it. You know, I think that's one of the most inspiring things I can hear you know and that's what I'm saying, like right now this platform here, man, anybody be able to come on here, throw some positivity on what you got going on in the community or what you doing, and let's push it, man. Let's get behind each other, support each other, and if we can save one, they gonna continue. As long as if you save one, hey, that's some type of satisfaction, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, but we can
Right.
save more,
yeah.
we just got to keep reaching out.
So I want to thank all y'all, all our listeners, viewers. Like, subscribe, share. It's going to be available still on Facebook and on YouTube. Coach Noob, thank you very much for letting us honor you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you are appreciated. Thank all you guys for coming through. Joe Love, thank you for throwing that alley oop and putting us together. I appreciate you and thank you for coming through after that long flight. Jig, bro, you're still my big bro. Marcus, you still one of the most athletic dudes I've ever seen in my life. And George got a heart of steel and an attitude, a non-quit attitude. So I thank all you brothers. God bless y'all. Thank you for coming on. And there's more to come. Stay tuned for next week. Amen.
All right.
Amen,
Peace. Good
bro.
night, y'all.
All right, peace.